Peace. Abrahadabra. This is Chakra Zulu once again. Here to give you another dissertation. This is going to be part 2 or segment 2, whatever you want to call it, to Black Stockholm Syndrome. Now, you know, in Black Stockholm Syndrome 1, I gave a brief breakdown of where the phrase Stockholm Syndrome came from. You can always go back and look that up as a point of reference. Right now I'm going to be moving on with that series, and I'm going to give examples. I'm going to give, documented proof and all of that kind of stuff. It's going to vary as I go along, but this particular example is based on the TV show Everybody Hates Chris. Now, first off, shout out to Chris Rock. Salute Chris Rock for what all he's accomplished, and especially the messages that he sends across in his comedy, especially in terms of race and politics and whatnot, because he hits a lot of nails on the head. How he goes about doing it, that's a matter of opinion. It's all relative. I used to get annoyed by it, but then once I started really kind of looking at it on the reruns, I identified where he was coming from. But there's this one particular, as far as the Black Stockholm Syndrome on Everybody Hates Chris, it mainly revolves around the guy Caruso, who is always bullying and terrorizing him throughout his school days and whatnot. The Caruso is loosely based on the bullies that Chris ran into while he was in school or whatever. I don't know if there was an actual Caruso or whatever, but he's supposed to be that all-encompassing embodiment of the bullying or whatever, all rolled up. But there's one particular episode that's titled Everybody Hates the Buddy System, where they're pretty much put together in the tradition of the Defiant Ones. If you look at that movie with Sidney Poitier, where you got two opposites who are coming together and have to learn how to work together and whatnot. Now, in that particular episode, the problem that I had was the fact that, with Stockholm Syndrome, it only goes one way. The victim is trying to identify with the oppressor, but the oppressor is only going to let up enough to where it suits him. The oppressor's never going to reciprocate in favor of the victim. So Stockholm Syndrome is an ongoing thing, and they show that in that particular episode. If you could condense all of that into any one episode, it would be that particular one, where at the end, Chris is trying to reason with the guy. Oh, well, why don't we try being friends? And the comeback that Caruso has. And when I talk about Stockholm Syndrome, it does. A lot of times, it can be referred to in the demographic of race, but it transcends that demographic. Just living in a household, you can have Stockholm Syndrome with a relative or anything like that, or on your job, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't necessarily have to be race, culture, etc., and so on. But when Chris is trying to reason with him about, getting along, the only thing Caruso got for him is, hey, if you run fast enough, I'm going to hit you in the back with this battery. In which case, for the sake of comedy, of course, Chris gets hit in the back with the damn battery or whatever. So, again, since it's done in the name of comedy, you're not supposed to take it too seriously. But, a divine mind can't help but see the underlying, subliminals in that. When you're on a higher wavelength, you really see what's going on. And, it's kind of hard to get around or whatever. You eventually have to, chunk it up and be like, hey, if they like it, I love it. And, their energy is what is being run on. So, what can I do? So, I just wanted to give that quick dissertation to keep the Black Stockholm Syndrome series running. Shout out to all the fans and all the supporters, all the subscribers. Shout out to all the trollers and the haters and the ones with the negative backlash, the naysayers and whatnot. Hit the button, do your thing. I'm off to the next one.